That snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
We
you want one
can't,
quick question?
we can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
Now into the music, which is the basketball. Big thing, man. Big thing happened today in the WNBA, or the past 2 days in the WNBA. So Laeticia Amihere, she scored 20 points off the bench in her preseason debut with the Golden State Valkyries. The highlights, they look pretty good. One thing I would say, if there was anything that I had to give, is kind of the set shot with her 3-pointer in the corner. It took a little minute to come off her hands and things of that sort, but it went in. Driving, midi, anything midi inside, she just has it. She has it down pat. Her length is a benefit for her on both ends of the floor. And these are things that we've always known about LA. And the reason why but that's exactly why those tools and abilities that Laeticia Amihere had, that's exactly why the Atlanta Dream fans were like, why isn't LA playing? Why isn't LA playing more? And it's the reason why I, as someone covering the team, asked the question, because it was a question coming from the fans. And it wasn't just a South Carolina, it was a thing of, you guys are losing a lot of games right now. You guys are in a losing streak. You guys are down by 20 plus points in the second half. Why wasn't Laeticia Amihere put in the game in the third quarter as opposed to fourth quarter? And it was like, we have a lot of good players. You know, she's on the depth chart, this and that. And then Laeticia played, and she played well. And I said, how'd you feel about Laeticia's contributions to the lineup tonight? I'm thinking it's cool. Boy, the previous regime with the Dream was not cool with that questioning. They let me get the first question. I asked it. Everybody knew what the question was going to be, including the previous regime. It was tripping. It was a mess. So, anyways, Carson Mesco comes in. For some reason, the franchise decides to move on from Laeticia Amihere, and now this is a very, very interesting decision. Now that LA had a breakout game in the preseason with her new franchise and stuff like that, it seems like she's given more freedom. It's an expansion team. They did cut Cheyenne Sellers, so there's that. Maybe that opened up more room for Laeticia as well. But it's going to bring up this question in this debate, in this conversation throughout the entire season, which I think is personally unfair, but it doesn't matter what I think is fair and what's not. It just is what it is. But it's always going to be a thing of, why did Atlanta choose Haley Jones over Laeticia Amihere? Now, Haley Jones had a pretty good above average rookie season. That was 2023. 2024 was a bad season for her. It got to the point where her confidence, bro, was just so bad. She wasn't even looking at the rim. She wasn't even trying to shoot. All she was doing, like, she got the ball, she immediately is looking at other teammates, and the defenders are sagging off of her, but she's not going to drive or anything, or not. You know what I'm saying? Because her confidence was just so shaken and so low. And that was just tough to watch last season. So you get a new coach in. She says in the preseason, well, in the training camp interviews, media availability, that, like, with this new system, she should be able to showcase more of her game and her abilities and talents. And she's very excited for the season. We come in, first game of the preseason, Haley Jones plays less than 8 minutes, and she puts up just cardio. Zeros across the board, except for 2 turnovers. Pretty tough preseason debut for Haley Jones. And her kind of make or break season. I've made a video speaking about it earlier. This is something that I'm watching in the league. I think that it's just very interesting and intriguing to see how it pans out with Haley Jones in a make or break season, because once the team that drafted you lets you go, it can kind of become a free fall. You can become a journeyman or journeywoman throughout the league, and you just don't know what is to come from that afterwards. Haley she was actually a 0, so she wasn't a minus, which is, I guess, saying good and things of that sort. But she was just on the floor, and it wasn't always positive. She didn't kind of force her way to, like, make an impact directly on the game, the same way that Tahina Pow Pow did, for example, and things of that sort. If you go back to the box score, let me see how much Pow Pow finished with. Pow Pow played over 20 minutes. She's really fighting for, people talking about her fighting for her spot, including myself, fighting for her spot versus Cheyenne Sellers, the new signee and things of that sort. But Pow Pow had 7 points, 4 assists. How many? Is this a block shot? A block shot, a steal. She was +5. She hit all 3 of her free throws, and she was 3 or 4 from 3-point range. Wait, hold on. How you 3 or 4 from? Oh, this is Nia Coffee. My bad. She was 1 of 7 from. Oh, ugh, 1 of 7 for 3. Tina Pop out. Hold on. Let me get this right. Let me. Okay, cool. Highlight this. So not. Okay, so she was -4, but she was 7 points, a block shot, 4 assists, and how many rebounds? 2 rebounds, and she was 1 of 7 from 3-point range. So yeah, I mean, but Pow Pow was aggressive, bro. She was aggressive, and she let her impact be known on the game. Haley Jones didn't necessarily do that. She kind of just blended in, and like I said, that's going to lead to this season-long discussion of why did Atlanta hold on to Haley Jones over Laeticia Amihere. Me personally, if you guys were back on the channel back then in 2023, I was going crazy over the dream, taking both Haley and Amihere. I thought they won the draft. I thought it was kind of like obvious picks. Like Haley fell to the dream, believe it or not, because she was supposed to be like a top 3 pick. The season before, they won the national championship at Stanford, and she was like the top player, tournament most outstanding player, all of these things. She comes back another year, and the next year her stock kind of falls because she just doesn't have as good of a season as she had the year before. That being said, I'm still like, this is still the player that led her team to a national championship, and she was the most outstanding player and things of that sort. And I was like, man, y'all let her fall outside the top 5 to the dream, and then let the dream get a me here. Man, y'all is in trouble. But Amihere just never played. Haley had a good rookie season. Sophomore season, I don't know what happened. Her confidence just poofed. They placed her kind of full-time point guard, trying to force her at point guard. The project didn't necessarily work. And now it's looking like Haley's still struggling in a new system, a new coach, while Amihere is shining because literally and figuratively, because like she's getting minutes. So I don't know. It's a difficult thing. Me personally, I still believe in Haley just because of how I was introduced to her game. I really liked her game when I was first started watching her at Stanford, and I saw flashes throughout her rookie season, so I know it's still there. And I know she loves the game because if you watch her pod, she obviously loves the game of basketball. She commentates the game about so she's passionate about the game. I don't know what it is, man, that's gonna need to click for her. I don't know if it's a mental thing where she just needs to woosah and just block out all the outside pressures. People like me saying, "Is this make or break for Haley Jones?" I don't know what it is. If it is mental, I'm sure it is, just because we've seen the talent flashes and stuff throughout the last couple of years of her career. I just she just needs to get back to Haley Jones, the original talent, not only to make this roster, because she'll probably make the roster if she has a guaranteed contract. Beyond that, to be a formidable player and live up to her full potential and maximize her WNBA career, because I feel like she has the ability to do that. LA, salute to LA. A lot of people were like, maybe she might go to Toronto when the Toronto tempo starts and stuff like that, and play for our hometown team and things of that sort. For the time being, I hope she has a good year in Golden State. Fresh start, more air, more energy, more minutes, and we'll also see, like I said, what happens with Cheyenne Seller on the Atlanta side of things. But like, that's another example. Pow Pow came in. She was aggressive. She got 20 plus minutes to show her talents and abilities with the first game of showing aggression. And then now you got Cheyenne Sellers, who's going to come in hungry as well. She's already been cut, so her play is going to be elevated to another level. And a lot of people are saying she could be like a point forward type of hybrid type of player, which is the exact same thing that you're looking at with Haley Jones. So it's like you got two players, two rookies coming in behind you who are hungry for the spot that you've been holding for the last 2 seasons. And really, the franchise is bringing in because they don't necessarily feel all the way confident in your abilities. Ashley Jones, just worthy of note, less than 8 minutes as well. Pretty similar stats to what Haley Jones put up. So that's something else to watch. I know a lot of people, or at least Nate, when I told him the last 4 players I thought could compete for the last 3 spots, he said Ashley Jones was his player getting cut. Ashley Jones is another player that I've liked since college over at Iowa State and stuff. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens, but I don't think you can write off Haley Jones based off of this one preseason game, but it's not a good sign. BG, Brittany Griner was hitting threes. She started off the game hitting 2 threes. She only attempted 2 and hit both of them. So those were the first 2 threes of the game. I know I questioned her ability to be able to space the floor in Carson Mesco's system. You know, you think of 5 wide, 5 spread, running gun, Mike D'Antoni, 7 seconds or less. And I mean, BG's look like she's adjusted. I feel like everybody that did Unrivaled, they're especially the bigs, they benefited the most from doing Unrivaled. 3-on-3 full court basketball because it forces everybody up there to develop some type of guard skills, whether it's playing along the perimeter or bringing the ball up from coast to coast. We've seen that with Angel Reese with Chicago, and now we're seeing that over here in Atlanta with Brittany Griner. And of course, she's implemented the 3-point shot a little more in the past few years, but I don't know. It just looks a little more confident, like she's got it down pat after just shooting threes all winter at Unrivaled. So should be an interesting thing. Ryan Howard did Ryan Howard things as always. Leash, uh, more of a quiet game scoring wise, only 7 points, but she still had. Dang, BG had 10 rebounds. She still had four rebounds, 3 assists. So she still affected the game in different ways and stuff. Jordan Canada went down with an injury, a knee injury, like the first play of the game. You see 35 seconds of gameplay there. And it's sad, man, that Jordan just came back from an injury last season, played the last couple months of the season, developed a little more chemistry with her dream teammates on the floor, and Unrivaled playing for Vinyl next alongside Ryan Howard and stuff. And just to come back and suffer another injury is it's very tough. So y'all make sure y'all pray for Jordan Canada if prayer is your thing, or just well wishes if you believe in that stuff as well. But I don't know, man. That's tough. And it also kind of opens up things on the basketball side of things for players like Shatori Walker Kimbrough, Tahina Papau, and Cheyenne Sellers as well, as I previously mentioned. So we'll see how they kind of, fight for those minutes and how the point guard situation is handled. Shatori, it seemed like she struggled against her former team. I don't know if it's just because they just had the scouting report on her. This is a new franchise she's with in Atlanta, but she looked like she was kind of trying to find her footing. She still finished +7, but just watching the game. And she had 4 steals, which is crazy. But she still looked like she was kind of trying to find her footing out there, in my opinion. Chris in the building, man. I hope Sellers' knee is okay. I wouldn't think the Valkyries would have cut her over Chin if not. But it's like, why would you draft her? You know what I'm saying, Chris? Like why would you draft her if you didn't think her knee was right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't draft you in the first place if I didn't think your knee was good. If I didn't think your knee was good enough. And then Cheyenne's family said that this didn't have anything to do with her injury. So I guess only time will tell, right? Only time will tell. So yeah, that's how I feel about the whole Haley Jones and the Laeticia Amihere thing. I think it's going to be a discussion throughout the league this season especially within the Atlanta Dream fan base, which is kind of a very specific corner of the league, of just, why was this chosen over this? But I still believe in Haley. And hopefully the franchise is too, to give her a fair shot, because Diamond Johnson didn't get a fair shot. She didn't play in her preseason games, and then they cut her. Harmony Turner, she played. I ain't gonna lie, she played. So she played. It was just Deja Kelly just kind of shine, bro. Deja Kelly took it. You got to be a dog, bro. Harmony Turner's a dog too. She'll get a chance again. I hope it's this season. But like people say, we need roster expansions, number 1, and 2, you need a G League, a developmental league for like all the roster. You know what I'm saying? So they could still work on their games and stay sharp and just get called up when someone gets hurt, or you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of players are getting hurt. A lot of players are tearing their ACLs right now in the WNBA. Knock on wood, but that's just like the reality of the situation of what's going on. And there's an entire study about women athletes tearing their ACLs at a higher rate than men. I did that video when Juju got hurt. But yeah, so with that being said, there's going to be players who are going to get called in throughout the year. And I think a G League would be more beneficial than having them just kind of work out at a local YMCA until they get called up.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
And Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
We can't ask Rashad a question.
Hey, Rashad.